Okay, just to summarize now, so because I matched it, I'm gonna call it whatever, I'll decide 15 and a quarter, 15 and a half. I still don't know yet. This is they call it high carbon stainless steel. It's a $35 knife. It is not particularly good steel. I do want to show you that when you pick your, and this is why I make such a federal case out of this, because when you pick 15 and a half is what I'm going to call it. Now your knife is lined up, your everything, and you know your stones hit. And looked at we looked at the tip with the scope, and we can see where we contacted, and we're in the middle, and we're coming all the way out to the tip. You can see the ink on it. That's a little better. Coming out to the tip, all the way, and I'm following it as it curves down. I'm turning the scope, trying to keep the picture level. And I can see, but I wanted to take the time to show you this. You see that tip? Can you see that facet, that fold, how that tip is ground? At the point, like almost an arrow, you can see there's a break, and I'm almost out to the very tip. No matter, that tip is like this. That's how they ground it. It's got almost a facet on it. So you're working, and we're profiling, and we matched up to here in that little micron. No matter what you do, you're never going to reach it, which is why the difficulty in sharpening tips. Why the difficulty in sharpening heels. If you ever saw a heel, the heel looks so heavy at the thickness of the spine of the knife back here that it just stands out, and that whole knife tapers at that same angle to become very thin at the tip. So the difference in the shape of the steel, we're going off of the center and matching, and that's the profiling to get us as close as it is. But even still, as you see in this picture I showed you physically, that knife is not shaped like the rest of it. So in order to get all the way to the tip, you have to remove steel. And that's why the federal case on all of that, because you want to get that knife as best position for you to work on. And there's no position that when you get it, it just lights up that that's the place to go. It's something that you learn that you have to work with, that you can work with. And that's why I said there's some finessing in your stones. And yeah, we want to go flat, but you're looking at the shape of that. So do you want to remove everything when it's shaped like this? Remove this whole tip so that it's straight? Or do you want to maybe finesse the way you approach sharpening your tip and maybe curl your stones as you go along your guide rod? That's the art of sharpening. That's what I leave to you. That's what I present to you is an option. And I'm just telling you that it's up to you to decide to use it as you want, because there's no right or no wrong. It's such a teeny thing, it's not going to matter in the sharpness, and you probably would never see that mistip if you didn't sharpen it that well. But we're looking with the scope, and we're looking profiling, and I'm looking at it in detail and showing you the challenges that someone else had asked me in a question last week about sharpening the tip and the heel. It takes extra effort to do it without doing the technique wrong. But at the same time, sometimes the wrong technique is what you need to use properly to get the outcomes you're trying to achieve. So there's not necessarily hard and fast rules always, but there's general rules that we use for our sharpening technique. Anyway, I hope that I showed you how we match it, but the match is not that number. Sometimes it is. If you were to sharpen a knife, clamp up and sharpen a knife that was previously sharpened on a wicked edge or some other guided sharpener that is that precise that it can, for a clamping position, put that precise edge on it. You clamp it in another sharpener, even though the profile is different. At that center point where it is, if you get that height on the clamp right, you put a measure on there, it's going to be 15 degrees because it was set at 15 degrees relative to the center line. So angles matter, but they don't matter in the sense that if it's not that angle, it's not functional. It's not like that. It's not a setting that it has to be in order for it to turn on and be a knife that works at 15 degrees. It's just you didn't achieve that set point you were looking to achieve. Thanks.